Hey, Cinnamon Rage here, and welcome to race 8 of season 6 of ILR. And we're at France, a track that I've never really liked, to be honest. It came in after the racing line, or after I turned the racing line off, so I'd never really get used to it as a track. Never learned the corners prior to that, and it's just so flat and yeah, concretey that tarmac even would probably be a better description. That I just find it hard to judge the corners, but did some practice with my teammate Edited Fawn during the week, and actually I just nicked his setup, and it just felt so much better than I was possibly expecting. This is the second lap I did, and you will notice, which will be something, I've not really got a lot of time to do this and then get back in. I made a mistake because I'd seen some people going on the harder compounds, but I thought it was a fairly obvious soft to either mediums or hards, so I was a wee bit confused when I saw people in mediums, and I spent a bit too much time in the garage watching people and I messed up. So this is actually, or should be, my middle stint. I'm not going to have enough time for a third and final faster sprint at the end, hot lap, but honestly this is one of the best laps that I'd ever done in the game. Not locking up. Yeah, smoother than I'd ever got, and this time actually was faster than my time trial time, which are never that good to be perfectly honest, but it just felt like such a smooth lap. So obviously 16th coming on to the last corner there, but I'm actually going to cross the line in second, and I would get pipped by two people by less than a tenth, possibly even in the hundreds of seconds, though they were in the slower compound of tyre. But yeah, in fact 1/100th of a second is what I lost out to two guys in front who had exactly the same time. I'm going to go in here and switch to the softs and hards. I'm recording this a wee bit after when I had actually recorded the race, so I might be a wee bit hesitant at points explaining what's happening, but my record of poor starts just continues. 4th, down to 5th, down to 6th, and then just playing it safe as my teammate comes across there. Completely fine, totally tons of room in that, no problems. I'm going to go on and lose one more place, and that's me down to 7th, and the guy ahead and the guy behind are on basically a slower tyre, but they are much faster drivers. A bit of a lock up there, just trying not to go into the back of anyone, but even still 7th after the first few corners of a race, that's just unheard of from me this season. And I had a fairly low downforce setup. This set of corners here actually I kind of like, and you're going to see though, got a wee bit of motion tracking here on LCR Ben, but he's going to lag about something awful, and it's just so uncomfortable driving behind someone who's lagging, and this isn't going to be the first or last instance of it. You're going to see here, just as we come into this sector, the third sector, he's going to start just bouncing around again, and it's just super unpleasant, to be perfectly honest. It's quite distracting as well. Obviously not his fault, it's just his internet. Obviously his Wi-Fi just isn't doing too well today. Don't remember it from him any other time, making a wee mistake there, but yeah, coming up to the end of the first lap, I've kind of settled in. My teammate just in front of me in 7th place. So, yeah, I mean, jumping on a wee bit later, near the end of the lap, you can see Ben's gone off wide, still jumping about. Someone I think might have been doing a Windows update patch in the background or something, and it was trashing his internet. But yeah, kind of still staying close as it goes yellow behind is a Racing Point, Force India, just Racing Point I guess nowadays. It obviously gets spun, and coming across the line at the end of the second lap, still in a relatively stable 7th place. But just going to zoom on a wee bit, because not too much happens here, a wee bit of a gap opening up in front, but you can see ILR3 Hamilton getting right up behind me, and yeah, I don't fight it. I just did not the best run onto that straight there, but yeah, down to 8th. That's another place lost within the first 3 laps, and I've got ILR3 button behind me now as well, who again, softer tyre, but these guys are faster drivers than myself, so I backed out there because it seemed like he went a wee bit slow, but I just backed out way too much, and that puts me really quite close to button behind, which is unfortunate and something that seemed to happen more than a couple of times during this race, as you'll see later on. But yeah, just trying to keep it sensible, but actually button's gone. Epix is now behind me, so not quite sure what actually happened. Can't remember if I knew at the time. I've just forgotten by the time I've come to do the audio for this. But I've got Epix behind in the Ferrari, who is going to be a bit of a pest later on. So cutting on to lap 6, Epix is now right behind me, so I got a wee bit wide and it ruins my line into the second corner. But what you're going to see here is just, I think, just poor drivesmanship. I mean, he left me absolutely zero room. It was just a dive bomb, plain and simple, which I just think is kind of poor form, to be honest. Kind of disrespectful driving. Equally, it could have just been a mistake, and I would have probably just let it go as a mistake, except for I get DRS on Epix coming up to the end of the straight here, and although he stays to the right as I move out, he just does a sudden move out as well, and it's like, it just feels like dirty driving in my book, to be honest. Doing that, you're not meant to make a move under the braking, and that's what he did. So as I say, makes me much less keen to forgive him for the first one as just being a wee mistake. And at this point I just was annoyed, so I just thought I'm going to pit early. Generally we get to about lap 7, I'd see my teammate Fawn hadn't pitted, so I thought, do you know what, I'll just pit instead, go in a bit early, take a bit of a chance. And I go onto the hard tyres, and you can see Joker coming in. I think it's Joker, yeah, coming in behind me, as Expert Amond, who it must have been that spun off earlier, go past. Jump into lap 8, you can actually see I've got a massive jump on Epic and Joker. Well, Joker came out behind me, sorry, but on Epic just by doing the early pit stop, and I actually got a big jump on my teammate as well, Fawn. Got a much better run there, but still just a wee bit wasteful on the second corner. So yeah, it was kind of a decent sort of race at this point, but I could tell my teammate was faster. We're on lap 12 now, and you're going to see that I'm going to be a good teammate here, and I just stay to the left. I don't put the engine up into any higher modes. I make it quite clear I'm not going to be battling, and I just let my teammate through. There was no point holding him up when he was at that point in time much faster than me. So yeah, obviously very good teammate. You can see the address to apply to be teammates next season for someone who's willing to let you past if you're quicker than them. Don't get me wrong, not going to be a teammate you want if you want points, but yeah, if you want someone to let you past, I'm your man. But cutting on to lap 17, you can see just sort of fast forwarding through here. I was keeping relatively decent position with Fawn, not really in DRS, but certainly getting enough toe behind him to just be pulling me along a wee bit. And in fact, I do actually get DRS here at the end of lap 17, which is good because I've got Joker right behind me, and just getting that DRS, getting that toe off Fawn, just allowed me to basically keep a bit of a gap with Joker behind. And again, these are drivers that are faster than me, but the fact I was even just competing even slightly, honestly, I kind of just enjoyed this race. Though someone took out the brake marker on that corner, we just went past corner 3, and I just found it so hard to judge. I knew I had to brake just before the rumble strips, but again, just how flat this track is and sometimes reflective, it was quite hard to see where that was sometimes. But yeah, I'm just going to keep in the DRS of Fawn. We're on what, lap 18 now. I'm in 10th, but kind of thought I had a good chance to be on for a point here. Although I did know that I had Revolution, who's much faster than me, and Joker, who again is faster than me. But at this point, I was keeping the gap, and once again in DRS of edited Fawn, and you're going to see he makes a wee mistake here and just has to go straight on. Does mean I get a fairly poor line into this corner, because you naturally get distracted, and it means Joker is right behind me, and I decide not to fight it again, to be honest. I leave lots of room on the inside, don't try anything daft. Always, as I said before, I like to try and be a very respectful racer. And I tend not to be that hard because I'm trying to be fair, and it's something you'll see in the Austria race. Again, possibly punishes me, but I do make a mistake there, not entirely sure, and Fawn just goes right past me. I totally lose the advantage I gained from his mistake, and that was a real nuisance. Yeah, so that does cost me as we come on here for lap 20, but it did start raining, and it was that kind of rain where you're like, I can stay out, and I was actually fine. And I've got here Button in front, and I'm actually trying to remember what happened to Button, because I kind of feel like I forgot actually where he disappeared to, but Button was ahead along with Fawn and Joker there. You can see I'm 2.5 seconds off them, but Button must have got some wing damage off someone. He just kind of drops off the pace, but no, apparently once again I'm wrong. He just got ahead. Now I'm 2.5 seconds behind Fawn on the penultimate lap, and he had 3 seconds more of a penalty than I did. So I mean, you can see here actually going through, I don't know if it showed you, but I was changing the fuel coming into that corner and lost the back end. I was 2.5 seconds behind Fawn at this point, and yep, blew it. Just so annoyed with my mistake there. Although at the same time, I'd been more annoyed had it been someone other than my teammate, because it's Fawn, and obviously I know Fawn's a really good guy. Do lots of practicing with him and whatnot through the week and the run up to the races. Gives me a hand to set up. I'll be honest, I ended up actually not being that annoyed. I was just more happy with my racecraft. Seemed to be better this race. I feel like it's been improving in the latter part of the season. I get points in Monaco, and okay, I'm going to finish 11th outside the points, but again, it's closer than I've been getting all season. So yeah, not unhappy, and still just out of the two leagues I'm doing, this is just by far the one I enjoy so much more than the other one. You're going to see here crossing the line just behind Fawn, and I'm only behind him by 1.5 seconds. So if I hadn't made that mistake going through the middle sector, I could have been on for some good points. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this highlights replay, and I will catch you for Austria in a week's time. Cheers!